Okay, I haven't given you guys an update in a while. So here it is. Sorry for the bad lighting, but there's Linus and Sally ready for their scene. We still have to put the backdrop up and put the pumpkins and the leaves around them, but they are ready to go. I'll do more footage tonight when it's not so bright. But let me take you over to this side. Oh, by the way, we've got the Dwarf Mine going on. Just like Ronan's Batcave, if you want to go back to my earlier videos for his Batman party, we're going to do the garage just up the same and then just have the mining props in there for the Dwarf Mine. So moving over here, we got some cobwebs set up and we've got the hallway finished that leads to the castle. But here's my favorite scene right here. There she is. There's the old hag. I even have the spider web in front of her for two reasons: to keep people away from the props, but also it's just like in the ride. So there's a big old cobweb in front of her kind of blocking off the scene. And here, let me go closer. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've got the cauldron and the fire underneath it. She's got her poison apple. There's her in her completeness with her hands. I don't think you've seen her with her hands all finished. But there's her hands. And then we've got Ronan's craft table. I screwed on a longer piece to hold this behind there. I wanted it kind of to be elevated so it looks like a nice, you know, progression down to her. Also, it's the same kind of setup in the ride. And there's all the kids' potion bottles that they worked so hard on, with some skulls and bones that we added. I even got a chance to hot glue some, you know, spooky little details on some of these bottles. And there's my crow. I love him. He was hard mounting on that plastic skull. He was just too heavy, so I had to redo his feet, and then I had to poke a hole in that plastic skull and fill it with sand to load it down, and then it finally would stay. And he's actually skewered into the foam books too. That took a lot of time to figure that out, and so I'm glad it worked out, but sheesh, what a project. Anyway, his wings turned out okay, and painted him up just like in the ride. And so he's reacting to the hag who's making the poison apple. You know that scene where she's like, "This, want a bite?" You know, and holds up the apple to him, so he's all shocked. So that's pretty cool. And then I have a little stand that I keep forgetting to get, but here's the potion book that we made, if you remember. And it's got the poison apple and from the movie, so we'll prop that up right here. I gotta remember to bring the little stand up home. And so this scene is done, and I love it. And I'll show you guys in the dark because it looks pretty cool. And then here's the makeshift hallway with fake drawn-on stones. Ronan did that. I think he did a really good job. This is just cardboard, guys, and I showed you the wood that I was propping up, and I draped a kind of a nasty it's got black on it, nasty tarp over it just to keep it out from the elements, but it's fine, it's working, and at this point I can't really improve it in any way, but it'll work for the haunt. And then this is a prop you guys haven't seen yet, I don't think. This is the mirror on the wall. It's just a foam piece with this this is an emergency one of those like blankets. It's like a aluminum type material, and I couldn't find a real mirror that was big enough that I could afford, and so I glued that down and put the two foam pieces together, and that's going to make our mirror. And in the night it looks really convincing, believe me, I'll show you. And it's just hanging by some fishing line up on here on these wood pieces, one there and one there, and just hanging freely there, and it works, and it's nice and lightweight because it's foam. So there's our magic mirror, and the people can walk up, and I got a light on it right down there that looks pretty cool. And so you're kind of getting the reverse tour, but I'll do a full walkthrough, I promise, when it's all done. And so here's our castle facade. It's our spooky forest. Then we have Snow White. She's all scared running in the forest. And then we have our castle facade. And we put this up last night, played around with the lights. Looks pretty cool. And then I told you about the chain that I made. I'm not using that chain because it was a little too flimsy and I was afraid that the kids were going to grab it and it would just break. So this is actually from the dollar store. I think it's 3 strands, which was the right length, or maybe 2, I can't remember. Anyway, they're plastic and they're actually perfect. They're not as like big and heavy duty as the one that I made that looked like proportional to the facade, but I still think it looks fine. And there's the drawbridge, and let me step back a little bit so you can see it's pretty big. And at night it looks really cool, especially backed up to my big old tree. So that is the castle, and the wolves are perfect right there. And then I got Zero hooked up to his mechanism. I just have to add the little pumpkin on his nose. It's a battery operated little light, and I put that on at the last minute for Halloween. And then he's on his mechanism. And then I think I already showed you Jack and Sally. Definitely Sally. I don't know about Jack, but Jack, he's all set up. His prop is like 4 years old and it's still hanging on. His hands are messed up a little bit around the wrist, but no one can really tell. But he's looking great. And then we'll light up the tombstones, and we're really close. Oh, I gotta go over here. It's somewhat in the shade so you can actually see. Here's our witch. And you have not seen this yet. This is very cool. So here is a witch head that I saved from the garbage, believe it or not. She's propped on some PVC pipe, a mannequin structure, and then I've got some hands that have zip ties with a piece of PVC painted like a stick. And I actually have the second cauldron, if you remember, that I made with the boys. And we got a mechanism inside that it's actually an old ceiling fan, and we slowed it down with a dimmer, and so her stick fits into the little PVC pipe and it turns around, and I'll show you guys that as soon as we get it set up closer to Halloween. And so we have our witch hut, and I decorated it, or the boys actually helped me decorate it, and we got some creepy cloth and some books and the potion bottles, and I need a candle on this thing. A little candle. Remember that candle thing that I made you guys? Yep, we're gonna put a candle on that. And then I've got a skeleton bird and one of my mom's antique bird cages like she likes to collect, so I got that. And then all the more potion bottles that the kids made in the cabinet, and it looks really cool. Probably more detail than anyone's gonna notice, but that's part of the magic, right? We put all the detail in there and it just looks perfect. No one knows why, but that's why, because we put so much attention to it. And so imagine it all like lit up. I think we got a red light on this area. You'll see that at night when I show you the night walk. And so that's it. So I love the witch. The witch is awesome. Everything is coming together, and I have a few more days. If by the time you see this video, hopefully tonight or tomorrow, it's Thursday, so I got a couple more days to get everything ready to go. Mostly the lights and the music, and of course the foggers. I've got to get the fogger hooked up, and then we're good. So let me take you through this direction. So they see this, they turn this way, and they go down the hallway, and then they see the witch scene here. I think that's my favorite. I love that. And then they're gonna go this way, and then I have my vampire bat, which has been always up there for 4 years now. This is blocked off. And then they will see the Dwarf Mine sign, and then they'll come through the garage, through the Dwarf Mine, and then out the back. And I'm not done with that area yet, but I will show you guys that really soon. And then they come around the side of the house. They see the peanut scene, and I'm gonna have the singing pumpkins again this year. I just haven't decided where to put them. Okay, guys. I will show you more very soon, especially in the dark.